welcome to Dependus Belaney, the podcast. Here we are again in your ears telling you about military shit and true crime, because why not? That's what we're here for. I am Jen.
And I am Veronica. It is all we know. All we know is this military life and true crime. That's what I do.
It's all I'm obsessed with lately. Just this morning, I was watching some sort of true crime on YouTube while I was getting ready to go to work, and it was great.
What was it? Do you remember?
Murder. I was watching, her name's Bailey Sarin?
Love her.
Sarian?
The Makeup and Murder? Makeup
Yes.
Mystery or whatever?
Yes.
Love
She's
her.
so fun.
She's
so real.
Relatable, yeah.
Yes. I just love listening to her. She's so funny. Half the time I'm not watching her put on makeup. I'm just listening as I'm doing all my stuff. And yeah, she's so entertaining. I listened to the Bloody Mary one today. That was good.
Oh, yeah. She's so funny. She makes me laugh. Just because she is super relatable with what she talks about. And I enjoy her videos of her just talking, like her get ready with me videos, more than I do the true crime. I don't know why.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll watch her. I watch her a lot too.
Yeah. She's fun. I'll have to watch the other ones too, because I've just seen the true crime ones, and those ones are great. So yeah, she's just more entertaining to listen to than like like a news reporter one. So it's great
For sure.
to hear somebody that's just a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I hope it doesn't get to her head. She stays humble.
I know, right? She seems like she would stay that way, which is good. I hope.
Great.
I hope.
Yeah. I watched there was a 2020 special the other day on the JonBenet Ramsey case.
Yes.
So it really wasn't anything new that the public doesn't already know from all the stories the media put out. But it was still really interesting to rehash some of the stuff. And yeah, it's so suspicious, just everything surrounding that case. Yeah.
Right. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. I listened to parts of the True Crime Garage. They had a 6-part, 6 episodes on it. And I didn't listen to all of them, but a lot of the one, I think I listened to the first 3. And they got into some deep, deep stuff. I mean, they didn't go either way. They weren't just like, oh yeah, it was definitely the parents, or oh yeah, it was definitely the son, or oh yeah, it was definitely this. They were kind of going all around, just giving you information on everything that came up. But the fact that what I found so weird was that the friend went down into the basement to look around and then saw nothing. Even went into the wine cellar, saw nothing, I was like, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, Dad comes down with the friend, and they look in the wine cellar, and the first thing they see is her body.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. So that's what I'm hung up on all the time.
And then the window in the basement, how it was cracked open, there was a suitcase propped underneath the window. And one of the detectives was like, well, in the picture that they showed, because they bungled that entire crime scene. They did a terrible job at securing it, and how the cobwebs. So many people were in there touching everything, wiping down counters. They were making toast, passing the note back and forth.
And they're like, oh, we were just helping our friends. Our friends were in need and we needed help. And it's like, dude, no, that's a crime scene. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, quarantine everyone to one room or kick them out. Yeah. Just have the parents.
Yeah, don't touch the note. That too. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. That too, the note. That's
3 pages?
That's fucking weird.
The 3-page
Who has time to write 3 pages? Come on.
A ransom
Always gonna
note.
write 3 pages.
Yeah. A ransom note. And asking for
I have your daughter, give me money. That's it.
This exact amount of money, which happens to be the exact amount of money that the dad received as a Christmas bonus.
Yeah, weird.
Right?
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all shady. Who knows?
It is. It is. And none of that sits well with me, but, it's been forever. Who knows if we'll ever find out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this hair is doing.
You got
right
a
now.
little antenna of hair sticking out of your forehead.
I don't know what this is anymore. Where it came from, what it's doing. Yeah. It's like bangs.
So I have that too. See? I think it's from putting my hair in a ponytail so much, and so I have hair breakage.
Yep.
And then
that's
it's
what I got.
So I'm trying not to put my hair up in a ponytail as much, but I also want to shave my head a lot.
Right?
I need
cut
a haircut.
Cut it all off and start over.
I need a haircut so bad, and I can't unless I go like black market hair cutting salon, because it's not going to happen before we leave. Yeah, so my hair is, like I said, I'm slowly turning into Rapunzel. My hair is so long.
That's okay. You can do Elsa braid.
Yeah. Let it go, Jen. Let it go.
Let it go.
Hey,
let it go.
Before we get started, why don't you tell our listeners where they can reach us?
Yes. If you want to reach us, because you do, with your stories, comments, anything under the sun that you would like to tell us, you can email us at dependisplaining@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and reach out at us there too. We like talking. We obviously you hear us every day. Well, obviously we like talking, but we also like ratings and shares and subscribe. So give us some 5 stars. That would be great.
Let us know how we're doing. We love it. We love to hear it.
Yes, please. 5 stars. Find us on the Milso Muster app as well. Subscribe, $4.99 a month, and you can get us and other military-related content, all for your app using pleasure. Did that work out?
Sure.
Know. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever all that was, So here we are. There you are.
Great.
Here we are.
Well,
Send us your shit.
Send us your shit.
Not your literal shit. We just want to know things.
Yes.
Whatever you want to know.
And we also want to start doing giveaways from some of our fellow listeners that have like their own businesses, their own little Etsy shops or something. We'd love to, partner up with you guys as well to do some giveaways to some of our faithful listeners out there. So if you guys have like your own handmade Etsy shop, stuff that you want to promote more, let us know and we will plug you and we can do like a giveaway with you.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. Collab, stop, collaborate, and listen. Oh, that could be a fun giveaway theme.
Jen, just blew my mind.
I'm going to write that one down too.
Yeah. We'll write down stop, collaborate, and listen. We got something for you.
Mm-hmm. We do. Always. Because that shit penetrates.
If you're too young to understand, stop, collaborate, and listen, God bless you. Yeah, you missed out on the greatest years of the 90s.
You did.
Yeah. Okay, Jen, I have a story for you. Do you want me to get right to it?
I am so ready for your story.
Okay. So I have a story, and I got most of my information on Wikipedia. There was a couple articles on on a military website. It was like military wiki. But mostly I received, or I was able to gather all this information from a show that I saw on Hulu called Deadliest Decade. Okay, so today I will be talking about the kidnapping and murder of Tracie McBride. Okay, let's get into it. So Tracie McBride was from Centerville, Minnesota. So at 19 years old, she decides to join the U.S. military. So she was at the right age when witnessing all of these women breaking barriers into like the military and into government positions, and she wanted to be a part of it. Tracie, according to her family, she wasn't one that you would think would join the military just because of her personality. She loved like like drama and theater. She's very musical. She was a cheerleader. So it's not somebody that you would think you would picture joining the military.
Mm-hmm.
So her best friend Dawn in the documentary says that she describes her as having like a great loving personality. She was really bubbly. She always had a smile on her face, and she worried about her going to basic training because she's like, she's gonna be a target with a smile on her face all the time, and so she was worried about her in that way. But
yeah,
because she like, her middle name is Joy, and she definitely lived up to her middle name. So Tracie always knew that she wanted to join the military. And her family wanted her to go to college, and she wanted that for herself too. But the military was more important. She wanted to be able to pay for college with being in the military. And she was hoping, she was hoping to have her degree done by the time she was done with her tour in the army. So she wanted to balance both. She was very inspired, like I said, by all these women in the military that were breaking barriers and in government positions. And actually one of her favorite movies was A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and I want to say Nicolas Cage, but I know that's not his name. Jack Nicholson. Thank you. Thank you, Veronica.
Oh, I knew exactly who you're talking about, and you said Nicolas Cage, and I was like, that sounds right. And then I'm like,
wrong.
And you're like, Jack Nicholson. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No wait, yeah, yep,
yeah,
that's right.
That was wrong. Anyway, so that's also a military movie, and that inspired her as well. So she joined soon after graduation. She graduated in 1993. And then in April of 1994, she's off to boot camp in South Carolina. She seemed to really enjoy basic. She didn't even mind like waking up at 4:30 in the morning. She was all into it. She was enjoying her time. She wanted to make the best of the situation, and she wanted to come out on top. And she does. She graduates and receives an Outstanding Soldier Award out of like 260 girls. And her family is there to watch her receive this recognition. And we're so proud of her. I mean,
wow.
Yeah. So she was doing amazing. She was, she's like, I'm going to be in the army and I'm going to be the best.
Yeah.
Starting
Good for her.
Yeah, starting with basic training. So she then attends intelligence training in California. And in February of 1995, she then heads out to Goodfellow Air Force Base in San Angelo, Texas. Want to hear a fun fact?
Yes.
That's where Kyle and I got married. At San Angelo, Texas. Yeah. He was
San Angelo.
Yeah, he was there. That's where the fire academy is at. So I flew out when he was in tech school to see him. And that's where we got married. It's it's really, really small. It's got a small hometown feel. The base is small. But there's a lot of intelligence training there.
Cool.
Yeah, so Tracie continued her intelligence training there, and all branches of the military receive training, or as part of their training is at Goodfellow. And it's like I said, it's a relatively quiet place. It's small. So 9 days after arriving at Goodfellow, she's assigned the laundry room duty. So she sits there making sure that everyone coming into the building using the washers and dryers, that they sign in and out of the facility, just for record in case anything happens. So she's bored. There's nothing to do. It's a Saturday night at that night, and there's a million places that she'd rather be. And so she decides to call her friend Dawn back home in Minnesota. And she's kind of like teasing her. She's like, oh, it's Saturday night and you're home. Like, at least I have a reason to be where I am and not out, but you're not out. And so they start, they just start talking regular teenage stuff, your typical teenage stuff. They talk about boys and stuff like that. So then all of a sudden, while they're still on the phone, Dawn hears an interruption, and Dawn says that she heard like muffled talking and kind of like when you put your hand over the mouthpiece on the phone. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called? Mouthpiece? The mouthpiece, the receiver. Anyways.
Yeah. I think so.
So, and then she hears Tracie say, I can't right now. I'm on the phone long distance. And then the phone goes dead. Dawn doesn't think much of it. She's like, oh, she probably wasn't supposed to be on the phone and she got in trouble. So she had to hang up quickly. So she's not worried about it, and Dawn goes back to sleep. But then at the same time of the phone call, 2 soldiers near the laundry room, Private Michael Peacock and a Marine Sergeant John Peoples, see a female soldier leaving the facility with another man. Like they kind of, it's dark and they see her walking out, being led out by this gentleman.
Yeah.
So one of them recognizes her and he knows it's Tracie, but to him, it doesn't look right. The situation.
Right.
Because like I said, it looks like the man is ushering her out. Like he was forcing her out of the building. So Peacock and Peoples get like a bad feeling and they jump after them, right? So they're like, this doesn't look right. Let's go find out. They're like, something's wrong. And as they're running out of the building, they're calling to anyone that can hear them. They're like, call 911, call 911. So these guys reacted fast. So they split up to look for Tracie. And once outside of the building, Peacock goes around the building and he sees Tracie standing there, still as can be. She's just like a statue. She's not moving. So he starts walking towards her. And the next thing you know, he gets hit over the head. Yeah, and he loses consciousness.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. So once he regains consciousness, Tracie's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone. She's nowhere to be found. So right away, they had called the police. And these guys jumped at it quickly. And so they contact Air Force Special Agent John Whitson. And he's called by the security police. He arrives quickly because I believe he just lived right outside base. And he starts to investigate right away. He interviews the 2 soldiers. And Peacock, who was injured at this point, before he heads to the hospital, he gives him as much info as he can, right? Because he's like, this guy needs medical attention. So Agent Whitson notices the bruise on the side of Peacock's head. And he's like, oh shit, that looks like the magazine of a gun, like the markings. And he's like, so when he examines, so he's worried at this point, obviously.
Yeah.
Agent Whitson also examines, like he sends off Peacock to the hospital. He's like, dude, you need medical attention, go. So he examines the laundry room for any evidence, and because that's where Tracie was last seen. And there really isn't like much to go off of. Tracie had left like a laundry basket with some of her belongings, but nothing to signal what exactly had happened other than what the soldier had said. So Whitson goes outside and like where the assault happened, because inside there was like no sign of struggle. And so he goes outside and is like checking out the outside, and he finds like the blood from Peacock's injury from his head. And he also finds a live round. So it's a bullet, and it hasn't been spent. It's just laying on the ground. It's from a 9mm handgun. Now, this is something to worry about because there's a weapon involved now. A 9mm gun is very popular, but it's very unlikely for someone. It's not uncommon for a service member to have a 9mm gun. However, on an intelligence base, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Because they're not armed, I guess. I'm not sure about that. But so now they think it's more likely for someone that was outside of the base who doesn't live or work on base to have a gun come in. So it has to be someone who has access to the base.
Mm-hmm.
It's more plausible that it's someone already on the installation, basically.
Yeah.
So the Air Force OSI calls the Texas Department of Safety to help with the search. They're like, we need more help. This is big. Let's work together. So they all begin to question everyone involved who may have had contact with Tracie, beginning with the laundry room sign-in sheet, right? So they go through that. And they really don't know where to start aside from that list, because she had only been on base for 9 days. So how many people could she have met and gotten acquainted with in 9 days?
Wow.
Yeah. So they start working from there. So Peacock is now well enough to be interviewed, and based on his description, the police are able to create like a composite sketch of the mail seen with Tracie that night. And Peacock says he had a green field jacket, but it looked like an older jacket from an earlier time in the military. So now they think that it's someone with prior military experience from a veteran, not someone currently active duty, just by the description of the jacket. He's like, it's a green field jacket, but it doesn't look like anything that they would issue out now. It looks like something from back in the day.
Yeah, and that would make sense then, right? Because veterans still have, if you have an ID, you can still get on base. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that, Jen.
Oh, boy.
So then a full search initiates, and an all points bulletin to the surrounding area or the surrounding counties is set out, and it's to be on the lookout for Tracie McBride and this male, and as well as his composite sketch of what they think he looked like. So the search has now moved from from on base to off base as well. Authorities inform Tracie's family. They let them know that Tracie has been kidnapped. And of course, they're out of their mind worried. Yeah. And they inform Dawn's best friend about it. And Dawn knows right away. She puts 2 and 2 together from that night about the phone going dead. And she knows. She's like, that I'm probably the last person that she spoke to.
Yeah.
So it becomes a big story in all over Minnesota, and they're all rallying with the family, for support, and they're just praying and hoping that they can find Tracie and bring her home right away. They then interview these 2 Marines that people said may have been acquainted with Tracie, like they were friends, and could possibly fit the description of the sketch. But they were quickly ruled out. They even spoke very highly of her. So the investigators discovered, they spoke very highly of her, and then they discovered that Tracie was actually in a romantic relationship with another Marine, but this Marine was stationed at a different location.
Okay.
His name is Chris Contreras, and of course you always look at those closest to the victim.
Yeah.
Right? So Tracie met Chris during intelligence training in California, and they fell in love hard quickly, and they were just very, very, very in love, young and ready to start a life together. And police at this point are like grasping for straws, are like, where is Tracie? What could have happened to her? And they're like, anything that could stick. And they start saying maybe Chris was madly in love with her and couldn't stand being away from her, or maybe there was something that happened between them, and he drove to San Angelo and killed her. But he was stationed in Virginia. That was not enough time for him to drive to Texas and then back, because he had an alibi. He was home, and he had people to say yes, he was here. Like, there's no way. Or also that Tracie was just done with being away from him, and she wanted to be close, that she staged her own kidnapping, and that she, to cover up for her going AWOL. But that wasn't of her character. She was, she was all Army through and through, and she wanted to serve. So that was also ruled out. So the family, they're not losing hope. They have the community behind them all the time, and they're supporting them in any way they can, with flyers and just any way they can. And it was a comfort to the family in such a time. And then the San Angelo police, they set up a hotline as well to receive any tips, and they just want something to go off of, and they followed on any tip they could, like, oh, we saw clothing on the side of the road, or we think we saw Tracie here, and they followed up on pretty much everything, but came up empty-handed. It was a dead end. So like I said, they just keep hitting dead ends. So on March 1st, 1994, 2 weeks after the kidnapping, they decide to interview Tracie's drill sergeant, because they're like, well, who can we start with? They're like, well, Tracie's drill sergeant might be able to give us something. Let's talk to her. She knows a lot of people. She knows Tracie. She might have seen her hanging out with somebody else. Okay, so her drill sergeant, Sandra Lane, looks so much like Tracie, and they show pictures. She looks like an older version of her, almost like an older sister in the looks department. They resemble each other a lot. They both had like short red hair, same big broad smile, just really similar in looks. It was strange. Anyways, so they interview her and ask if she knows someone who could have done this to her. And they like give her the details of what happened. And they're like, you know, this is what these two soldiers saw happen to her. Like, you know, and she was kidnapped, and give her as much detail as they can, see if they can come up with anything. So she said that she's like, I feel like someone who could have done this is someone who feels scorned. And they're like, what do you mean? And she says, well, my ex-husband did this to me just a few days ago.
What?
Yeah. She said that her ex had done the same thing to her, and then she thinks that her husband might be a suspect. Okay?
What?
Yeah. So let me tell you about Sandra Lane. She tells police that she had an affair with a married man she met while stationed in Germany. So this was a few years prior to this. He was also active duty, but they kept the affair under wraps until he divorced. He got divorced and then married Sandra Lane in 1992. But the marriage went sour. He became violent with her. He was an alcoholic, and one night after way too many drinks, hit her and beat her and brutally raped her. Yeah. So it was, you know, the typical spousal abuse we hear about. Man hits woman like the little dick bastard that he is. Makes her think that she provoked it, that she deserved it.
Yeah, of course, yeah, right.
Yeah. And when it's over, he promises he'll never do it again. Right?
Always, right?
Yeah. And he says, I'm going to change. Lies. Lies. So Sandra gets fed up with this fucking bullshit, and she's like, bye, we're done. I'm getting a divorce. Gross. Get out of here. So she divorces his ass in 1994.
Good.
But then, so she gets stationed at San Angelo, Texas, and he fucking follows her to San Angelo. He moves nearby, and he starts harassing her. So, February 16th, just 2 days prior to Tracie's disappearance, Sandra's ex breaks in the door of her house, of Sandra's house, and takes her at gunpoint. He tells her to call his answering machine and leave a very convincing message saying that she wants to get back together with him. He's basically blackmailing her, saying, if you call the fucking police, like, I have evidence that you called me, inviting me over. So, like, yeah.
Oh,
so he's just trying to set her up. Yeah. So he sexually assaults her, and she never reports it to the police.
Oh, poor girl.
Because she's like, you know, what am I going to do? It's my word against his.
Yeah.
It's literally her own word against what she would be reporting. So she asked to be stationed in Germany again. She's like, I don't want to be here. I just want to get away from him. So she's going to try to transfer to Germany. Now, the night of Tracie's kidnapping, there's phone records that Sandra and her ex spoke on the phone. I'm not clear on who called who, but she made it very clear to him that she wanted nothing to do with him. And she was like, stay away from me. I'm done with you. Like, this is done. Like, it's over. Fucking get over it. So the police hearing this, they like perk up. They're like, oh shit, like, what's, you know, there could be a connection here with her ex and Tracie's disappearance. So they start looking into her ex. Lewis Jones Jr. is 44 years old, and he served as an Army Ranger for 22 years.
Oh.
He was the fucking elite of the elite gen, right?
Right.
He's like trained. He's like trained for very special missions.
Yeah.
Anyways, and he like served in the invasion of Grenada and the Gulf War. So he's got experience.
Yeah.
22 years veteran. And he retired as a master sergeant, and at the time of the kidnapping was actually the shuttle driver on base.
Oh.
So he had access to the base, and he drove a van on base, shuttling people back and forth. It was the perfect way for him to stay close to Sandra, his ex, to keep an eye on her, and he was harassing her. He fucking worked on the same base that she was in.
That's not fair.
It was crazy.
That's not fair.
And it's like, what is she going to do at the time? At the time, this is so bad. Military men saw females as that they were there for their own entertainment. They didn't take them seriously. A lot of them didn't take them seriously. I'm not saying all of them, but they weren't being taken seriously, and they were seen as objects, and unfortunately a lot of assaults happen. I feel like nothing has fucking changed to this day. But the police, so they go, they investigate this guy, but the police have no evidence to arrest Jones. So the police have no evidence to arrest Jones for the disappearance of Tracie. So instead, they arrest him for assaulting his ex-wife. So they're like, okay, let's get him in here. Let's try to talk to him, and let's see what we can get out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So Agent Whitson, along with another agent from the San Angelo police, they like stake out Jones's house. They're like, okay, we're gonna observe him, and then we will go in there, and they arrest him. And they did. They bring him into the San Angelo police station to question him about the assault of his ex-wife and to see if they can get anything regarding Tracie. So he quickly admits to raping and assaulting his ex. And police think it's really weird. They're like, this guy fessed up too quickly. Like, what's going on? And it was almost like if he wanted the attention to go to that crime and not the Tracie crime. He's like, well, if I maybe confess to this, like, they'll get off my back about Tracie. Like, they won't ask me. But the police carefully bring up the Tracie investigation, and he like denies having to do anything with her abduction, but he soon falls under pressure, and he like confesses. He confesses to kidnapping her. Yeah. And so they're like, where is she? They're like, where is she? Yeah, where can we find her? And so he agrees to take police to a location where her body is.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they find the body of Tracie fully dressed in her uniform under a bridge. And the fact that she's like fully dressed in her uniform, I mean, like, she's dressed, her shirt's tucked in, everything is in order. She looks like it looks clean. And they're like, this leads like them to think that there was no sexual assault. The family is soon informed, and they're all heartbroken, of course, devastated. They bury her in Minnesota, but they're still left with so many unanswered questions as to what happened to her and why it happened.
Why?
So he's on October 1995. Jones goes on trial for the kidnapping and murder of Tracie Joy McBride, with prosecutors seeking the death penalty. This is what the McBride family wants. They're like, yes, he needs to be put to death. So Jones tells the story of what happened to Tracie. He says he was driving just around base when he notices Tracie on the phone. He had just actually talked to his ex-wife a few hours prior. This was the phone call that she was like, I'm done with you. Fuck you. Get out of my life. I never want to see you again. So he knew that Sandra, his ex-wife, was not on base, that she was at home. But he sees Tracie and he's like, oh, fuck, is that her? Like, what is she doing here? Because remember I told you they look so much alike.
Yeah.
So this triggers him. He's triggered. Yeah. It triggered his rage. He tried to lure Tracie by asking for help, but she replied that she couldn't because she was on a long-distance phone call. This is what Dawn heard on her end, her best friend Dawn back home in Minnesota. So then he forced her to go with him at gunpoint. He also admits to assaulting Private Peacock when he hit him over the head. And then he says he took Tracie back to his place where he raped her for hours. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. And then, Jen, he has her clean up herself and he makes her pour peroxide on her genitals.
Oh
so
my
there's
God.
no evidence. Yeah.
He's a sick motherfucker.
I know. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
So, and then he stuffed socks in her mouth, ties her up, and sticks her in the closet. I'm not sure how long he kept her there, but it was like two weeks that they couldn't find her.
Yeah.
So it was probably a few days. He washed her clothes. He helps her get dressed, makes her look like nothing happened to her. And then he has her walking on towels that he spread across the floor. So she wouldn't pick up any fibers from the house that could become evidence later on when they find her. So, yeah.
Excuse me? Why do you think of all this thing? How do you think of all of that?
Yeah.
That's
Have you ever
scary.
seen the movie Murder by Number?
Oh, yes.
With Sandra Bullock and Ryan Gosling?
I love that movie.
It reminded me of that.
Yeah.
I know, it's really good. It reminded me of that when they're setting up the crime scene and they put fibers from the carpet and the baboon or something.
Yeah.
They want to set up this guy. I was like, oh my God, they thought everything out.
Yeah. He's thinking of everything that he doesn't want for her to be found with. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to cover his tracks by preventing any evidence to be. I mean, he washed her clothes.
Wow. Yeah.
And made her pour peroxide on her genitals. And cleaned herself up.
That's what I thought when you said when they found her body and it was pristine, her clothes were normal, tucked in, and she looked normal. I was like, that's not normal though, especially when she was gone for that long. There's no way that's not
right. Then at least there would have been some sort of struggle.
Yeah.
And it would have been evident in her appearance.
Yeah.
But nothing.
Wow.
It gets worse, Jen.
Oh God.
So then Jones takes Tracie 30 miles outside of the city and he beats her over the head with a tire iron, crushing her skull.
Oh my God.
Yes. So in the trial, Jones, because he's already under arrest, he fucking confessed. Let's get this guy in prison for the rest of his life, at the very least.
Yeah.
So in the trial, Jones's attorneys come up with the defense that Jones is suffering from Gulf War syndrome. Yeah, and this causes chronic illness, including neurological impairment, which we all know is PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this was caused by poisonous gases that he was exposed to during the Persian Gulf.
No.
Yeah, his lawyers also claim that Jones was a victim of child abuse, but the jury's meh, I don't think so. There's plenty of people that have been to war and they have PTSD and they were, abused as children and they're fine. They're able to control their killer instinct.
Yeah.
So they don't buy it.
They don't go out and murder somebody who is not even their own ex-wife that they're trying to get. And then also make sure that nothing is on her body that they will find on her later. Come on.
Yeah, and it's not like he went into rage and killed her right then and there.
Right.
He kidnapped her.
Yeah.
And he had her for a while. And he set her up walking on towels.
Yeah.
All that I feel may not have been, it feels premeditated
exactly.
to me,
It was very thought out. He thought of everything, every step.
Mm-hmm. So after 2 days of testimony and 65 minutes of deliberation from a jury made up of 9 females and 3 men, they find Jones guilty and they recommend the death penalty. So on June 11th, 1996, Jones entered into the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and was eventually moved to the U.S. Penitentiary Terre Haute. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry. Into the men's death row. So through the appeals process, Jones' lawyers continued to argue that he should be spared the death penalty and have his sentence commuted to life imprisonment because nerve gas had damaged Jones's brain, according to their lawyers, and that was responsible for his personality changes that contributed to the tragic events of his crimes. So, in 1999, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to overturn the death sentence. Jones' final appeal for clemency from President George W. Bush at the time, and his final appeal at the U.S. Supreme Court failed once again in March 17th of 2003. So on March 18th, 2003, Jones was executed at the USP Terre Haute by lethal injection, making him the third federal prisoner executed since federal executions resumed in 2001. Tracie's family and a friend attended the execution. That broke my heart when I read that. I was like, would you want to be there to see that happen?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, how is that?
Is that closure to some people?
How is that closure?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I would want to see it. I think I would rather do it.
Yeah.
I think I would be like, let me have at him.
Right.
Yeah. So Tracie Joy McBride was buried at Fort Snelling National Cemetery in Minnesota. The Tracie Joy McBride Scholarship Fund and its associated event, Tracie's Night, were named after her. The fund is primarily managed by Tracie's sister, Stacey McBride Cox. And that is a tragic story of Tracie McBride, her kidnapping and her murder.
Wow. Man. How terrible.
I feel like nothing has changed.
No.
Nothing has changed the military.
No.
You know, you still have all these, it brings up the Vanessa Guillen situation as well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I'm sure further down the road we will cover.
Oh, yes.
I feel like it's way too soon to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's, it's the same thing. It's these men thinking that they have a right to a female just because she's within close range to them. And then they're like, they're not disposable, they're human beings. Like, how can you think like that of your fellow coworker, of someone who's serving next to you, who has every intention to do good in the military?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand, but like I said, I feel like nothing has changed now. Maybe there's more rules in place, but are they being followed through? No, because we still have fucking sick, bastards in the military, serving in the military, and doing these disgusting things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. It's sad to see. It's really hard. It's really hard to see that. Yeah. It makes me sick that somebody just you could think whether it had even been his ex-wife or not. The fact that you feel the need to kidnap and then just brutally torture somebody and then completely just utterly horrifically murder them afterwards because you're angry, because you're mad.
Yeah.
That's not okay. That's not how you live.
Yeah.
This is not what you want to do. Who raised you like that? Come on. Come on. You know better than that.
I know. It's it's the act of a petulant person, and almost like I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know. It's very angering.
It is. It's very frustrating, and it's just so sad because, whether it was his ex-wife or, it's Tracie, it's just still, you're still taking an innocent life. There's nobody deserves that. Nobody. At all.
Yeah, and the claim that it was, caused from the PTSD of being in war. It's like, well, what was the excuse when you were fucking beating your wife and raping your own wife?
Yeah.
The one person who was with you. I want to know about his ex-wife, the first wife.
Yeah.
The first wife that he cheated on. First of all, that shows what his character is like too.
Mm-hmm.
That he was going behind his first wife and cheating on her and having an affair with this other woman. So that speaks a lot his character.
Yeah.
It just, it's, you know, one of those things. It's like, well, I got away with an affair, and I got away with beating my, at the time, wife, and then raping her, and then doing it again later on when we were divorced. So now I'm going to do it to this perfect stranger just because I am a little pissy that she kind of looks like her, and, you know, claim that it's due to the stress from having been in the Gulf War.
Yeah. Like, I get it. That shit messes with your mind. Like, I understand, but you also are a human being and you need to learn how to control your own emotions. And two, the fact that they let him be, you know, on a military installation again, too, it's like something like that should have been, you know, seen. Like, I don't know how things work. I know he was just a shuttle driver, but still, like, stuff like that. If he's going through this, his wife literally moved away and he followed her.
Yes.
Like, that shit's not okay. Like, that right there, he
Yes.
should have never been allowed to work on a military base if he was doing this shit, too. But I don't know how all that works, so...
And then the fact that Sandra, his ex-wife, knew that she really couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't be like, hey, this guy's harassing me, he's my ex-husband, because she probably knew that her being a female in the military, it had no value.
Right.
Like, there was no value in it. She's like, they're not going to take me seriously. Like,
yeah,
they're not going to care. He's a fucking war veteran. Like, he served for 22 years. He was an Army Ranger. He seems more stable than a female currently serving, you know? It's like men have an issue with women who have authority.
I know.
We can do it just as good as you guys.
We can.
Men with dicks.
Let us
Maybe
do
better.
it. Leave us alone. Just let us do it and not
right.
Just let it be, please. Just let it be.
So yeah, why are men so threatened by women in power?
I don't know. It's not. I mean, not all women are trying to be better than men and blah blah blah. Like, we're not trying to shove it in their faces, but we would like to feel equal at least. If we can do the same job as you can, at least, like, you know, make us feel equal, because we are. We're still
fucking respect
people.
Us.
We grow
respect
humans.
Us, yeah.
God.
Yeah, I saw, just changing the topic kind of, I saw a friend post on Facebook that they were so excited for a female in office, which we haven't even covered because we don't really get into politics. But I don't know about you, Jen, but I'm super excited for a female in office. So that's me. That's just me. And I saw somebody saying, oh, she was questioning her past and her past choices, her personal choices. And I was like, what does that have to do with fucking anything right now? Like, I want my daughter, if my daughter has done something that is deemed immoral, I want her to know that she can always come home and that I will always love her and that she can be better. If she thinks that was a mistake, she can rise from that occasion or to the occasion, and she can be better than her mistakes. And I was like, what does it matter? What does it matter if it was like a long time ago and she wasn't hurting anybody?
No.
What does it matter?
Everybody likes to bring up stuff from the past, always. Your past follows you, whatever.
We all have one.
Yeah, exactly. We've all done things that we don't like. We're not celebrities, so we don't get all of our business put out there like they all do. Everyone, especially everyone in that office, is going to get their business thrown out, and everybody's going to have an opinion on it and whatever. But yeah, I'm most proud of the fact that we have a first ever woman vice president. I think that's fucking amazing. Like,
it fucking rocks.
It's
like,
just so cool.
President Biden who?
Yeah,
like exactly. President Biden who?
It's just, I think it's amazing. Like, that's awesome. I couldn't wait to tell my daughter that first day was like, oh yeah, by the way, making history. First woman vice president ever.
History. Mm-hmm. That's the way I see it. That's what I see. And that's what I want my daughter to see. Be like, she's a female like me. She is a person of color like me. She's a minority like me. Like, this is possible. Like, this is awesome. And this is this is history in the making. Like, how amazing.
Yeah.
Also, how fucking beautiful was Lady Gaga at the inauguration? She's magical. She's like a unicorn. I love her.
Right? I know. Yes. I mean, it's Lady Gaga. Come on.
Yeah. And J-Lo. J-Lo's just fabulous all around.
Always.
But,
always.
Yeah. I was like, Lady Gaga singing the national anthem? Yes. Serve it up. I love it. I loved it. So, anyways, enough about politics.
I know. That
was my story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Hope our listeners enjoyed it.
Yes. I'm answering for all of you because you know you did, because I did. Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Seriously. Thank you, Veronica.
Yeah, you're welcome. What do you have for us?
I just got a little bit of information. I was kind of struggling, this week. My brain's been all over the place. And just trying to find something to talk about that people would find somewhat interesting. So I found out about this thing called Troops to Teachers. I'd never heard of it before.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend across the street about how Dave would be such a good teacher. Like, he should totally be a teacher. And my friend goes,
he would.
He could do the Troops for Teachers. And I was like, I've never heard of that. So, if anyone else is like me and has never heard of it, here's some information on that. Troops to Teachers, or Triple T, not iced tea, Triple T.
Iced tea sounds good.
Right, I know, so good.
Or, unless you're talking about the singer, then he's not really my type. A rapper, I should say, the rapper.
The rapper. Rapper. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I like iced tea, it's delicious. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet tea,
On a hot day.
Flavored. Yeah. Peach iced tea. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, sorry, I'm out. Raspberry.
Ooh.
I don't like peach.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just tea that I like peach in. Ooh, raspberry.
I don't like...
Strawberry?
I don't like... Yeah. I just don't like certain things that are flavored.
Yeah, right.
In other flavors. Like, I don't like peach flavored anything. I don't like the orange chocolates.
No.
I don't like those.
I don't like those either. They're weird. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, so not food related, but
just a bit.
Okay. Here we are.
But we make it food related.
We always do.
As always.
All right. So, Troops to Teachers. So, the Department of Defense and Education founded Troops to Teachers program in 1993 to help veterans transition into teaching careers after completing their military service. Mostly, so the biggest thing I saw with this was it was to encourage these new teachers then to work in schools that needed more help, basically. We're at a very low level public schools, low poverty level, low, stuff like that. Schools that need a lot more help to them. But you could work at, once you do this, you're a teacher, so you have the choice to work where you want. But they are more encouraging for those types of schools. So your eligibility for Triple T is open to all transitioning military veterans who will be or have been honorably discharged and have a bachelor's degree or an alternative training. Not really sure what they mean by alternative training, but I'm sure it means some sort of schooling because obviously you're going through this. You kind of need a bachelor's degrie to get a teaching certificate. Right.
Because, they do expect military members to go to school.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you're going to be a teacher. You should probably have that. Also, members of the National Guard and Reserves may also apply. My cord's everywhere. It makes it really hard to hold your paper. So I got most of this information from a website that was called accreditedschoolsonline.org. They had a really good outline of everything. And then also the actual website for Troops to Teachers is called proudtoserveagain.com. And that's where you can find all of your information and get to everything. The application, we'll get there. We'll get to that part.
Okay.
Here's the roadmap to becoming Troops to Teachers. So, to register for the program, veterans with a bachelor's degree, the registration is online. Unfortunately, if this is something that your spouse or you, as the active duty member, is looking into this fiscal year, you unfortunately cannot join the program. Because of COVID. There's been a lot of pause on everything, so they are actually not doing any applications for the 21 fiscal year. But hold out hope, because it's gonna be there. They're still trying. Anyone who's already registered, they're still going with, but right now they're on hold. But
no more new people.
Yes, no more right now. But that's okay, because there's always another year. So to do that, you go to their online website and you can register. Pretty simple, straightforward, right there. Then, once that's done, you meet with a counselor and you create your own action plan. So you meet one-on-one with somebody to create a plan for you to get through this program, which that's amazing to have somebody that's there helping you through step by step. Awesome. Next step is for you to pass your praxis exam or state exams. Yeah, that's a hard word.
It's a hard word. You should practice saying praxis.
I should. I should. Or state exams for teacher credentials. So it just varies on which state you're trying to get this done in. The website has a really good by state procedure for everything too. So if you're looking for Arizona or Nevada or Texas, you can just click on your state on that website and it'll tell you all the steps that you need to take specifically for your state.
Oh.
Yay!
Oh, okay.
So, step 4. You need to pass a background check and a screening. So, becoming a teacher, you have to have a background check, fingerprinting, all that stuff. So, you're going to have to go through all this too during your Troops to Teachers program. Next, you complete your student teaching hours. So obviously, again, this varies state by state. Whatever your state is requiring on hours, if they even require it, is what you need to do. Then you will apply for your state certification. And again, varies by state on how that goes. All right, so step 7. You will then, after you've gone through all these things throughout your program, you're going to create a resume, cover letter, and a list of references. Your counselor that you got at the beginning of your program is going to help you create your resume specifically for you and for what you are looking for. So if you're looking for elementary work, they'll help you design it around that. Or if you're looking specifically to be math teachers, social studies, that kind of thing, they will be able to help you make it so it corresponds with all of that. Step 8, you're going to search for jobs by your state. On the website, proudtoserveagain.com. Not ours, we can't help you with all that on our website, sorry. But proudtoserveagain.com. You can search for current openings or look for anything specific to the type of teaching job you're wanting to get. Step 9, they encourage you to attend their fairs, school fairs, teacher fairs, job fairs. That's what it is. It's a job fair. Just so that you can see what's out there, different schools, that type of stuff. And then step 10, you go to work. Because now you're done. Your program's complete. You finished all your steps. You found your job. Now you get to work.
Time to start teaching.
Start doing
them
your
little
things.
Rascals.
Yeah, right? So, Troops for Teachers provides many services, including financial support, which they offer stipends and bonuses. There's a $5,000 stipend that can be offered to a participant for a commitment to teach 3 years in public school with at least 20% of its students who are at or below poverty level. And then they offer a $10,000 bonus to teachers who commit to teaching at least 3 years in a school district that has a 10% student population that is at or below the poverty level, and a high percentage of students with disabilities.
Okay.
So obviously these schools are needing a lot of
more
extra
challenging
help. Yes.
Right. It's a little bit more challenging, so they offer them more. Okay.
That's how they're able to offer you bonuses and like that too for these type of commitments, which is nice. So they also offer job placement assistance. The counselors can help participants to locate and apply for teaching positions. I mean, another great thing your counselor will do for you. There's a hire in advance program where a service member transitioning out of the military can guarantee a teaching position up to 3 years in advance.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's really nice to know that you're securing a job that early on.
Yes.
That's good.
There's some ways to, they have, proudtoserveagain.com has a lot of information. If you just go to their about section too, if you have any other questions on, what am I supposed to do? When can I do this? Because there's like a year or so, there's like a 3-year gap where you have to apply. It's like from your date of separation, your retirement, whichever one it is, that you need to be able to get into this program for you to be able to be in it. So
okay,
it's something really cool. It's interesting if you are interested in being a teacher, you've had military service, you done good in there, and you want to keep going and doing things. There you go. That's right. It. That's all I got.
I wonder if if they would be willing also to place you in the Dodea school system, like
I would hope so. So they nowhere where I read there was any mention about Dodea, but I mean, I would think, because I always hear that Dodea needs teachers, and they're always needing teachers somewhere, and the extra help, all of that. So I mean, I would hope it would be a possibility for them to find you a job in a Dodea school.
Well, I'm just thinking of like some service member, their spouse is could already be a teacher and working for Dodea, and it's like, well, it'd be nice to just bring in the active duty member to teach as well.
Right.
But then, I mean, getting out into the community and helping out those that are more challenging, like in a more challenging school, that's also a great way, because I mean, you were already in the military, like I'm sure that in itself is very challenging and what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And it's like, this should be a cakewalk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I know, and that's what this program was all about, is it was created so that, they could get more people in to be teachers who have, the ability to do it, the willingness, the determination to be a teacher and help, especially in those, like they say, the low income areas that, just need a little bit more help, more teachers willing to be there. Because, I mean, I feel like anywhere, no matter where you are, I feel like they're always low on teachers.
And what better way?
That's one thing.
What better person than to have someone that's served in the military and has discipline and regiment and structure? That's probably what would help in a situation like that. Oh, okay, that's really cool. I totally forgot about that program. Like, I remember seeing it like on the AFN commercials back in the day. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Back in the day when they still, do they still have AFN?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
I think it's like where, I don't have it here on base, and I have not heard anyone talk about AFN here, but I know like when we were in the UK, there was AFN.
Right.
Like in TLF, they have some channels.
That's right. Yes, that is true. So when we lived in Belgium, we had AFN, but to get it off base, you had to buy like a decoder box and the satellite, and someone would come out and install it for you, or you can install it yourself. If you're my husband, you think you can install it yourself, and then you spend a good 3 hours walking around the backyard trying to find the right spot for it, and then your wife will call the installer, and it'll only cost like $20, and done deal.
There you go.
But ego Men's ego. Anyways, yeah, so we were able to watch AFN that way, and I do remember seeing those commercials, that Troops to Teachers, and I remember thinking it was a really cool program. So now that I know a little bit more about it, I really think it's a cool program. So
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
especially that transition. If your active duty member is not quite sure what they really want to do, it's right there. It's an option for them to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome, Jen. Thank you for that info.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great. Well, so okay, great. Well, I don't have much for today. I gotta go prepare myself mentally for teaching the children, and I believe it's Thursday today. I don't know what day it is anymore.
I don't even know what year it is anymore. I had a moment today where I was like, wait, yesterday? What? No? What year is it?
Yeah. What year is it?
It's been a week.
I'm sorry, Jen.
It's been a week.
Jen and I were talking before we started recording, and she's had a rough week.
It's been interesting.
Yeah. So, but she's getting through it. We all are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have you to talk to and help me get through it. Thank goodness.
Always here. I know when you told me that you had a rough week, I was like, let me get my coffee and sit down and listen to Jen. And I was like, just trying to find all my stuff. And then I got distracted because I was like, I can't find the case to my headphones. I'm going to blame Kyle. I'm going to say he moved it somewhere.
I bet.
Always.
They like to do that, though. They do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Don't they? They'd be like, hey, have you seen my blah, blah, blah? Nope. And then I find my blah, blah, blah somewhere where I would never put it. And then he'll be like, oh, yeah, sorry, I did move your blah, blah, blah. Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch
you're like, oh, now you remember. Yes. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other day, so we don't have a TV in the bedroom, and we have a projector, so we've just been projecting onto the wall whatever we can at night, just to turn our brains down. Oh, my headphones died. Just to turn our brains off. And I was like, I can't turn it down. Where's the volume? It's super loud. And he was kind of asleep, and he wasn't answering me. I was like, whatever. So the next day I asked him, I was like, how do you turn down the volume on here? And he's like, oh, one of these buttons. And he just pointed at the projector itself. And I was like, that doesn't help. And then like a few days later, I find a remote. And I was like, what's this remote to? And he's like, the projector. And I was like, you've had a remote this entire time? I was like, and you couldn't tell me? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I was trying to turn down the volume the other day. Men. They're useless brains.
Man.
Yeah.
Those men. They just think with, their
penis.
whole thinking. They're like, yeah, you get it. You understand.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, no.
No.
I don't.
I need more detail in my life when you're talking to me. Because you talk like caveman.
Don't forget to take care of yourself. Everyone needs to make sure you take care of yourself. Whether it's working out, meditating, a bath, walking.
Yeah.
Anything to clear your mind and just focus on yourself for even like 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
Give yourself even 10 minutes.
Yeah.
30 if you're feeling frisky, an hour. Whatever you gotta do, okay?
Yeah.
Whatever you gotta
turn off your brain. Somehow, I always say this. I'm like, I always have to turn off my brain at night to be able to fall asleep. So it's like, I'll watch TV or I'll read a book. Just something to get me out of whatever is going on in my world, in reality, and into something else. Focus my brain on something else. And sometimes that means, disconnecting completely from social media. Or just sitting in a dark room by yourself, or talking to a friend. Just anything that could help. For me, like I said, it's reading, talking to you. That's my advice for everybody, because it's hard times right now, and we're all sick of being indoors. We're all sick of not being able to have the choice to go somewhere. That's the thing. It's like, I want to be able to stay home by choice. I want it to be my choice. And you guys are doing great. And we thank you we thank you so much for listening and supporting us. We love your comments that you leave on Facebook or Instagram. Make sure you guys reach out to us if you have any stories you want to tell. I know a few weeks ago I said, hey, send us any like secret stories that you have that are military related. I still am waiting to hear from you guys, and we would love to talk about your stories on the podcast. We can keep you anonymous if you want. And we do have a special interview coming up in the next few episodes. I haven't really pinned it down yet just because of the time difference, but you guys wait. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you guys want to reach out to us, once again, it's at dependusplaining@gmail.com. We'll leave comments on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And don't forget to rate us. Rate and subscribe. It really does help. Just leave a 5-star review. It doesn't matter if you leave a comment or not. If you're going to give us a 1 star, you might as well tell us what we're doing wrong. You're obviously listening, so why are you giving us a 1 star? You're still listening. Yeah.
Exactly. Give us a 5, and then if you really are just,
jealous,
whatever, pouty face, just email us and tell us what's going on, okay?
Yes.
Just tell us why.
Yeah.
Why you feel this way.
Why don't you like us? Why'd you give us a 1 star? It's fine. We don't care. We can handle it. Yeah. That way we can try to improve. We're not gonna, but we can try.
Exactly.
Yeah. Great.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have for today, Jen.
Well, thank you. Again, thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate your support so much. So much. This is why we keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue these bi-weekly episodes.
Yes.
To give us time right now and to give Veronica time for her PCS.
Yes.
Because shit gets crazy, as you all know.
So crazy.
Everything just happens unexpectedly. So who knows? But we're hoping for the best for you, Veronica.
Thank you. So next week I'm going to be in TLF. So it's going to be tough to find a quiet spot in TLF. I don't know if I'm going to be on the very top floor of the 3-story building or on the very bottom where you can hear footsteps or, the people walking around. But we will be in TLF. I will still try to record. So just if you hear weird noises in the background, it's TLF stuff.
Yeah. Remote recording on location.
Mm-hmm. On location. Yeah.
Yeah. So bear with us during these times. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you all. We hope that you all have a wonderful January. This episode might come out in February though. So, days. I don't even know what days, Who knows? So bye January. Hello February.
Hello February.
Here we are. Hello.
Yeah. It's February.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
It will be someday.
Well,
maybe?
Right now, as the episode is being listened to, it is February.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. We're there with you. We're there with you.
It's the month of love.
You're there with us.
It's the month of my birthday. My birthday is in February.
Whoop whoop!
Yeah. I'll be spending it in TLF.
Yeah.
I am going to be in my late 30s. That's scary. It's scary.
It's just another hill to climb.
Yeah.
Over.
Just keep climbing this fucking hill. When am I going to get to the top?
It's coming.
It's coming quick.
Eventually.
It's coming quick,
Who knows?
let me tell you. Yeah, my body's telling me it's almost here.
Oh, it's good. It's all good things.
It's all good. It's fine.
All right, guys. Hit us up if you need something. You need someone to talk to. Stories, all that. Get at us.
We're here for you.
Thank you. We're here for you. We love you. Thank you for your support. Find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. And listen to our other episodes because they're pretty entertaining too.
Super.
Because in your podcast, wherever you go,
there you are. Goodbye.
Bye.